Fuko's beloved manga series, the one thing that's kept her going in life. She's on the brink of giving up, entirely ready to end it all, but then a voice breaks through, warning her it's not safe. All Fuko ever wanted is a chance at a romance like the ones in her manga, but her own self-doubt rooted in her appearance makes her believe it's an impossible dream to protect herself. She sternly warns the man not to mess with her, even concocting a wild story about having an incurable disease if he dares to touch her. Lost in her own thoughts, she doesn't realize that Andy accidentally moves right into the path of her knife. It's a shock for Fuko and she panics, but then something extraordinary happens. Andy smiles, grabs her, and the blood mysteriously disappears, and in a shocking twist he eagerly waits for the disease she mentioned to take effect. Surprisingly, it turns out Fuko wasn't making it up. Anyone who touches her is doomed to face great misfortune, and he experiences this firsthand as he gets brutally crushed by an oncoming train. Fuko silently apologizes, blaming herself for the delay that led to another mishap involving someone else. That is when Andy's head leaps back onto the bridge. He laughs heartily at her disease, revealing it to be a facade meant to protect others. He loves it all the while repairing his body right in front of her. She can't think of any other explanation as to him being a zombie and reacts impulsively, striking him to make her escape. Andy, infuriated at being associated with the decaying undead, lunges at Fuko and proudly proclaims himself as an undead. Being eager to learn more about her unluck, he's interrupted by the imminent arrival of police officers, a situation that doesn't paint him in the best light. Consequently, he decides to postpone their conversation using his own blood as an accelerator. He leaps from one building to another. Upon landing on a rooftop, he enthusiastically explains how he accelerates himself by dismembering his limbs and regenerating at high speed. However, Fuko shows little interest in the lunatic and tries to get the hell out of there. Andy, not willing to let her go easily, still harbors unanswered questions. Turns out touching her clothes is an okay that doesn't trigger her unluck. Fuko desperately struggles in Andy's grasp, but does she truly want to break free? Plummeting from this height will be a grim fate indeed. Andy extends an offer to assist her, provided she explains her alleged unluck. She confesses that she had intended to end her life today, but as he sends her spinning, fear overwhelms her. The genesis of this saga dates back a decade. An 8-year-old at the time, Fuko bid farewell to her parents as they embarked on an overseas journey. They showered her with affection before boarding their flight. Tragically, a mere half-hour later, their plane suffered catastrophic engine failure, claiming the lives of all 270 passengers aboard. It was then that she discovered the grim truth: anyone who made physical contact with her would meet with misfortune. Ironically, the most calamitous events occur when she's embraced precisely what Andy has been doing in the name of science. A crate of bananas tumbles from the sky, crushing Andy. Upon impact, seizing this opportunity, Fuko attempts to flee. However, her escape takes an unexpected turn when she comically slips on a banana peel, teetering off the building's edge as she hurried towards certain death. She reflects on her life's unfulfilled desires, particularly the absence of love. Her manga escapes her jacket, serving as a bitter reminder that she's not yet ready to meet her end. At that crucial moment, Andy propels himself rapidly towards her, refusing to let her die. This isn't just about saving her, it's the realization that he may have stumbled upon the key to achieving his long-desired true death. He wants to figure out how to get the greatest misfortune ever to finally end his long life, and proceeds to take her to his hideout. Meanwhile, some state agents are monitoring his every move and are given orders to apprehend Fuko once they've figured out her ability in his hideout. Andy deduces a critical revelation: the duration of his physical contact with Fuko is linked to the intensity of the ensuing unluck. Next, he wants to try to touch as much of Fuko as possible, so he tells her to undress. She once again makes a run for it, but at this point it seems that Andy loves the chase. There's no way she's going to strip for him, but as she makes a desperate run for it, her jacket gets snagged on a metal rod, revealing her long uncut hair that no one has been able to trim for her. This shatters her composure. However, Andy isn't deterred by this. He retrieves a pair of scissors and gently holds her chin. The impending misfortune looms as he trims her hair, but he remains undisturbed. After all, he's undead, a former stylist from ages past. He meticulously cuts her hair. Finally, a smile breaks across her face, and she expresses her gratitude. Yet Andy's mind wanders. He's been holding her for 15 minutes, and the unluck must have reached considerable severity. With a swift swoosh, his head is severed. The agents from earlier have caught up to them, and it's thanks to her that Andy finally let his guard down. They secure Andy's head in a specially designed capsule to prevent regeneration. They discreetly handcuffed Fuko, leaving her bewildered. She had thought they were on her side, but no, their mission is to police unselected negators like Fuko, individuals capable of disrupting the world's balance. Scarface, one of the agents, commends her impressive ability, which makes her a perfect candidate for being a murderer. However, clothing seems to offer protection against her ability. Her weakness lies in the fact that once her conditions are known, it becomes easy To counter her, Scarface is convinced that Andy captured her precisely for that reason to use her as a weapon. Fuko starts to defend Andy, but Scarface advises her to cut the tough act if she wants to stay alive. Fuko continues to apologize for bringing misfortune to Andy, but it turns out that the ordeal is over. Yet a bolt of lightning strikes the man holding the capsule, sending him into a free fall. Andy emerges from the depths of the building and swiftly regenerates. Scarface notes to his soldiers that even though he's undead, he is amateur when it comes to combat. However, that may be because Andy keeps his memory sealed to maintain his sanity. Then he removes the cork that holds back 100 years worth of memories, transforming into an immortal monster that lays waste to everything in his path. Afterward, he reinstates the seal and notices is that the onset of the misfortune also has a time lag, indicating that getting sliced wasn't a part of the misfortune. Facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge, he employs an underhanded method, threatening to kill Fuko unless Andy surrenders his head without regenerating. Andy had hoped for a dramatic standoff, but Scarface dampens his expectations. Andy begins to cut off his own head to save Fuko. However, she has witnessed enough people getting hurt because of her, and even though Andy is undead, she feels compelled to act unfazed by her opinion. Andy willingly surrenders himself, quite literally handing himself over. Fuko knows precisely how to trigger the most profound stroke of unluck. She manages to break free from Scarface somehow and boldly takes a leap, planting a kiss on Andy. Scarface catches Andy, and Fuko with a triumphant smile declares that her greatest misfortune is now set in motion. Andy urges her to make a run for it as he begins to regenerate to restrain Scarface. As Fuko escapes from the hideout, a colossal meteor emerges from the clouds, obliterating the mansion and clearing the skies as the settling dust obscures their surroundings. Fuko initially fears that Andy may have succumbed to the impact of the meteor. To her astonishment, he emerges from the dissipating smoke, casually remarking that it's his first encounter with a meteor to the face. Relieved and overjoyed at his apparent well-being, Fuko can't contain her happiness. After that, it's the first time they actually introduce themselves, and since Andy doesn't really have a name, she decides to name him Andy as an Onat. He doesn't mind, and this simple act brings genuine joy to her. Still a small kiss did all this. Guess next time is something more intimate. Fuko once again makes a run for it. This is Andy's in Fuko's quest for the greatest death ever. If a kiss can set off a blast that big, then just think about what a SE** bomb would be like. Adam starts to limber up while Fuko's gears begin to turn as she tries to combat the creep's logic. Once she kissed her granddad, but his dentures scared the crap out of her and he got off scot-free with a broken ankle. Definitely not on the same level as an exploding airplane, so the key must be likability. The more she likes someone, the greater the disaster that befalls them. Checkmate. If he pulls any funny business, she'll hate him forever and he'll never get that sweet euthanasia. Fine, he'll just have to wait until she falls head over heels for him. Easy. So they head to one of his safe houses, a shipping crate packed to the brim with weapons. The group that is after them is an organization that polices unidentified potential threats, and they don't give up easily. Since both Adam and Fuko are negators who negate the rules of this world, they'll be hunted until they're either contained or wiped off the face of the earth. Dealers choice. 50 years ago they caught Adam and did a number on him by performing a variety of experiments to test out the parameters of his abilities for a decade. There's no telling what lengths they'll go to testing out just how unlucky Fuko's ability can get the two set off without a specific destination in mind. When a literal back in the sky appears, apparently it's how the Union teleports. A giant armored Mitch comes through and bodies Adam. When Fuko tries to go to his aid, she finds herself running backwards until she backs into another Union member. The MCH tells him to take her out, but clearly he wants to take her out. Adam finds himself unable to move as the MCH continues to do a number on him, but regains movement after being sucker punched. Fuko thinks it's the guy that's hitting on her, but Adam points out how he's physically paralyzed, but she seems is unable to move because of her will. But they still need to SUS out precisely what they're negating, so they have a fighting chance. Adam and the Mitch start going blow for blow. The other guy tells Fuko that after that ludicrous display last night, her danger rating's been bumped up to an 8 from a 5. Fuko reasons that since they're both negators, then why aren't they being hunted as well? Sleeveless tells her that there is a group of 10 negators in the Unidentified Phenomena Control Organization, or simpler Union. They really need to work on their ACC. There's an elite group of negators that are allowed to roam free so long as they carry out missions. Fuko insists that they could become members, but the Mech winds up ready to completely decimate her, saying sorry, but the club's full up. Adam leaps in to save her and is totally on board with joining the hunters instead of being the hunted. He's not about to let any harm come to her as long as he's around. Fuko becomes flustered in the naked man's arms, but agrees it's time to get serious. The gloves are coming off. Literally, she takes her gloves off and places her hand on his chest. Red-faced, she turns tail and runs, warning the Union members of the impending disaster, all the while trying to convince Adam, more so herself, that the magnitude of said disaster isn't because she likes him or anything. So he shouldn't get any ideas. Adam backs up, closing the distance just as an oil tanker veers off the off-ramp above, exploding on impact and sending him flying. While he regenerates, he postulates that the mech's ability is unavoidable, so when he gears up for an attack, the target becomes paralyzed, but he doesn't have enough info on the other guy just yet. He lands inside a skyscraper rigged with explosives, which goes off as he finishes. The thought Fuko wonders if that was her fault as well. The match is even more hell-bent on getting rid of her due to the unpredictability of her ability. He zeroes in on Adam's mangled hand amidst the ruins and prepares to finish him off. But it's just a decoy. Adam approaches him from behind and tells him he's got it all figured out. He readies a finger gun and fires the tip of his finger right through the eye of the suit. He can stop muscle movements, but not his regeneration. 1 down, 1 to go. The other Union member catches up to them, and he and Adam square up. They match blows, each blocking the other, unable to get a hit, and Fuko arrives with Adam's katana in hand and he tells her to throw it at him. He catches the blade in his shoulder, places his hand on the hilt and says, "If you can parry my blows, parry this, you filthy casual." But when he goes to strike, he freezes. The Union member activated his trap hard. Adam hesitated just for a moment, but it was one moment too many. Fuko takes off her glove and lunges at the man, but he simply sidesteps her feeble attempt and she eats it. He won't reveal the rules of his powers, but he will give never mind. They're not even listening. Since they one member down, there's a seat to fill. So who will it be? Adam tells him that Fuko will take the spot and he'll come willingly. She adamantly refuses, but he won't take no for an answer. Besides, if they break her through experimentation, how's she going to kill him? Fuko tells the Union member to look away for 10 minutes. She wants to give Adam the death he so craves, and he might as well go out in a style. She takes her shirt off and jacket. She doesn't want to give up on him, so she'll get on top of him. The Union member laughs and tells them that they can just kill another member. He even gives them the time and place where they can find one before he dips. Adam tells Fuko that he won't bang her out of desperation. He's still got to make her fall for him, okay? So they have to make it to Russia, but public transportation is a no-go. Easy, they'll just drive to need to take his yacht to Vladas, get on a jet plane to hire some of his old war buddies, then lie and wait to gank the guy. Simple. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this.